Hi, Ewelina. So it's your last set of essays. Fantastic. Let's see what you did here, okay? Companies moving out of cities. Let's see. These days, companies are being displaced from large cities to rural areas by local authorities. In this essay, I will present the advantages and disadvantages of this trend using examples from Polish studies and German research to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Perfect. Let's see. It doesn't ask you your opinion, so this is exactly how you need to do it, okay? If it asked for your opinion, you could have said, but saying here that you're going to talk about them is fine. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that this development can be extremely beneficial. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, the contribution to the local economy is appropriate here. Cannot be overstated. This is due to the fact that enterprises can create multiple opportunities for communities, such as new vacancies. For example, recent Polish studies have shown that opening an IKEA factory in a town called Wielbark has decreased the unemployment rate by 20%. Secondly, if the business prospers, other possible investments will follow. As a result, to meet demands of expanding companies, local councils might be forced to build more developed infrastructure. Consistent with this line of thinking is that living conditions for residents may be improved. Wonderful. I really like this. I thought you did great. On the other hand, even though there is a case for economic growth, the negative impact on the environment, I would have preferred here, not and, cannot be ignored. One of the most alarming matters is deforestation, as green regions have been replaced by enlarging urban agglomerations. Okay, I like what you're trying to do here. I don't feel that this vocabulary is the most natural. Okay, I know you're trying to use some high level words, and I appreciate that, but this whole enlarging urban agglomerations just feels a little forced. Maybe you could have just written something that's a little more natural. Let's see. I don't know. I'll have to think of something, but I can tell you that when I read it, I was like, okay, I know what she's trying to say, but I can't agree that it's the most natural way you could have said this. Okay, you could have said something like by expanding urban cityscapes. That would have even been more natural. Okay, so furthermore, according to German research, there is a strong link between declining forest areas and global warming. A reasonable explanation might be an increased level of greenhouse gases because of the lack of green spaces which can absorb them. Therefore, the long-term consequences may be disastrous. Lovely. Okay, to summarize from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that governments should maintain a balance, you're missing a word here, between increasing prosperity and protection of natural habitats. It is predicted that ecological issues will grow in importance. Okay, I think this is lovely. I didn't do a word count. It feels like it's certainly over 250. Certainly, yeah. But I thought you did a nice job. It was condensed, it was concise. I thought the structure was perfect. It flowed really nicely. Just little things that I mentioned, like little grammatical errors and little vocabulary errors, but nothing really serious. So I thought it was a very strong task too. You should feel really good about it. Okay. Now let's take a look at your two task ones that you've sent us. The flowchart illustrates the process of preparing 5 different kinds of tea: white, green, oolong, black, and scented. The first step for making white, green, oolong, and black is the same, which is sorting and cleaning fresh leaves. Then the process differs. If the next stages are steaming and drying, the outcome will be white tea. Nice. I like that you have used a conditional here, and that's nice. It's an example of higher level grammar. Remaining kinds in the second stage are similarly withered. All right, this is a little awkward. Yeah, rather the remaining kinds was a little weird for me. Okay, I would have preferred something like the remaining tea types share the next stage, which is withering. Okay, that would have made more sense. So the remaining types or the remaining kinds share the second step, which is withering. That for me works better. Then, to get green tea, the following steps are steaming and shaping or drying with an addition of jasmine. To obtain oolong tea, the third stage is shaking or rolling in a basket. Then leaves with bruised edges are fermented. Careful, you want passive voice here, for a short period of time. After fermentation, they are fried on a pan and finally they are left to dry. You're missing a the here. The process the process for preparing black tea is similar to oolong tea, but it is slightly less complex. The withered leaves are rolled or cut, and then they are fully fermented. The final step is firing. Fine. Green, black, or oolong tea can be used to prepare scented tea. These teas have to be additionally dried and scented with flowers or fruits. In the last step, they are cooled. Great. Overall, fresh tea leaves are used to prepare all kinds of tea except for scented tea, which is made from green, black, or oolong. The least complicated is preparing white tea, which has only 3 stages. The longest process, that consists of 6 stages, is required for making oolong tea. Perfect. All right, I thought this was very good. Okay, a couple of little comments that I made throughout, but on the whole, I thought it was a very strong task 1. So great, again, great, really good. I mean, your progress is super clear to me, so I'm really happy to see it. Now we have your second task 1, approval ratings for Churchill. All right, not US, but whatever. Okay, fine. It's a theoretical kind of thing, I suppose. Okay. It's not a flow chart. I don't know why you called it a flow chart. It's actually a line graph. So careful. There's no flow happening here. It's definitely a line graph, okay? All right, so the line graph shows a percentage approval rating of US President Churchill from the year 1985 to the year 1995. In 1985, 85% of society approved of here, the president. You approve of someone. In the next year, the amount slightly rose to 32 and remained at this level until the year 1987. Okay, so it stayed stable for 2 years. Fine. In the next 2 years, it sharply increased, reaching 35% in 1988 and 40 in 1989. Okay. Then the rating leveled off until 1990 when it again rose, but in a slower manner. Okay. In 1991, it rose to 42%. In the next year, there was another boost. In 1992, the president was approved by 44% of the people. From 1992 to 1993, there was another period of stagnation. Then, for the last 2 years, the ratings slightly rose, reaching 45% in 1994 and 46 in 1995. Overall, there was a visible rising trend of approval with a few periods of stagnation. In the last year, almost half of the society approved of the president. Okay. This was good. Let me see. Kind of wanted you to somewhere split this. It felt like it was a lot of information in one paragraph. I also want to check your word count here, so just bear with me for 1 minute while I do that. All right, so your word count was fine. You were at 159 words, and I realized that there's not really a whole ton of information here. I was wondering if maybe you could have split it somewhere into 2 paragraphs. Perhaps a good place to do that would have been here in 1989 or maybe even in 1990. This could potentially be a good place because it's the middle of the line graph, right? And then here you've got increase, stagnation, increase, like steep increase, and then again stagnation. And then you could have stopped there, and then you could have talked about this, which is a much more gradual rise, and then this too, which is another gradual rise. Okay, so that might have been a good way to split this because having just all of your details in one paragraph isn't really effective. It doesn't emphasize some of the stuff that you possibly should be emphasizing. Okay, so that's pretty much what I would have liked to see. I think you did a great job in general. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with this whole set. So I know your exam is coming up, so you should feel really good about it. You should go into your exam with a ton of confidence. You're doing great. I really am looking forward to hearing the results of how you found the exam, and then, of course, your results once you get them. Okay, so definitely keep in touch. Is it this weekend? I thought it was. Do let me know either way. And of course, if you do want some extra practice, we can arrange to give you some extra corrections, essay corrections to do that. Okay? Whatever you decide to do, good luck, and I look forward to hearing from you.